Hey there, how are you today? It is a bright, sunny Saturday, hot day, typical end of May in Southeast Texas, and I'm a little bleary-eyed the day after graduation, but not near as bleary-eyed as the awesome parents who stayed at Operation Graduation all night last night at Incredible Pizza. And I know the kids had a great time. Matthew was so glad he went, and he just could not believe that some of his classmates did not actually go to that op grad. He won money, he won gift cards, he just had a great time. And so I was so happy about that, and he is asleep now because he said, you know what, my sleep's going to be all messed up tomorrow because we're flying out international, and you know, anybody who's done that knows you're messed up after that. So anyway, he is tucked in bed. So some of y'all know that I was doing a Bible study this last spring that dealt with emotional generosity. And really the main thing was not quitting, but within that she touched upon emotional generosity to others and giving them what they need and what we need and giving them grace through everything. And I've done pretty good with that overall. There's been some things that have happened, and actually I've had a pretty tough skin for a long time after being in public education for 29 years because I'm used to the, kind of crazy or ticked off parent coming in and just chewing me out over stuff I have no control over, and handling that with grace and not getting all ruffled over it. So someone can flip me off on the freeway or whatever, and I just no big deal. And nobody's done that to me recently. I'm just saying it's a reflection on them, not on me. So I'm pretty good about that. Well, I think, we know that God has a sense of humor, and we know that He pushes us all the time. Well, He has pushed me this last week, and I came front and center with it last night at graduation. And it's been no surprise to me, or it's been no big news to me about the lack of manners in our society today in America. I don't know about other countries, but I know in America, there just seems to be this lack of common courtesy to one another and listening abilities and I'm just trying to think of the right words. I think our father had a lot of empathy for others and always was very considerate of others. And so that was passed on to us. Maybe it's something that is within us already, but that was something that he was big on, and he always had feelings for how his actions were impacting others. And I know my sisters and I are the same way. And so we try to think of how other people would think about things. So anyway, going back to emotional generosity, I'm pretty good about that. I have a pretty hard, tough skin, and I can pretty much be very forgiving over things, and I really don't hold grudges. It takes way, way too much energy for me until this week, because what I realized is when the wrong is committed against your kid, and there have been a couple of things this last week that have been fairly major, but last night really took the cake. So Matthew's valedictorian, so he makes the valedictorian speech, and this was a really nerve-wracking thing for him and for us, because as parents we want our kids to do the best that they can do. And there he's going to be in a coliseum with all those people and his peers watching him. He's never taken a speech class. He doesn't always enunciate the best, and he can speed talk to where we're like, slow down, we can't hear what you're saying, we're old, and so I really coached him. I told him to get with some of his other friends like Dylan and Andrew that have done a lot of speech and are really good at enunciating and projecting, because I kept saying, you can't talk in that coliseum like you're just talking to somebody. You're going to lose them if you do that. So we did some things, and he made some corrections, and the principal had approved his speech and whatnot. So there I am with my camera filming him when the big speech was coming, the proud mama. And I think already a little bit tense too, because we were kind of in an aisle walkway where people were walking in front of us. But even though we were there over an hour early, there they were really the best seats that we could see. So that's why we sat there. So I was ready, if someone was going to try to walk by during a speech, I wasn't going to let them go by, because I was going to film and they weren't going to walk in front of my camera. They can go around. So anyway, well, that didn't happen. So the whole time there was a younger girl around 12. I'm pretty sure she was about 12, because I'm a pretty good judge of age. And there was two adults next to her, one on the right and one on the left. So throughout Matthew's speech, they were talking. And it's graduation, and I know people get bored and they just want to see their kid walk across. I get it. I've been to so many graduations in my lifetime, being an administrator at school and also having friends and family. I get that. And so I was prepared for that, But things kind of fell apart when the girl, the 12-year-old girl or so, mocked him. And all I remember is that, and I knew that the camera was picking up what she was doing, and it really, as a mom, it cut through me, and it in many ways. First off, it was my kid out there, and secondly, that there are two adults. She is sandwiched between two adults, and nobody is correcting her. So I have a horrible confession. So I kind of kicked the chair, and I said, "That's my kid. Shut up." I don't ever say shut up. I've been in education so long. We've been hardwired. We don't say that. So just that even came out of my mouth was like blew me away as it came out of my mouth. And so anyway, he was trying to finish his speech. So I'm also mortified that this is on the film. And then her mom, who's on her right, turns around, "Hey, don't you talk to my kid that way." Well, then my husband snaps out of, just trying to focus on Matthew, and tells her to hush. I thought it was going to be a brouhaha at the graduation. And so afterwards, and luckily they did quiet down, And so then afterwards, I apologized to the girl, and I said, "I'm sorry I said shut up. It was my kid. I'm trying to film it." And then the mom just wanted to keep mouthing off, so I turned to her, I said, "Look," I said, "I'm sorry." And I just left it at that. But it's so interesting, because then as I was reflecting on it today, I realized, yeah, that was probably a God moment of, and for months, I have sort of looked at those bumper stickers and, those shirts that say Mama Bear on them, and I just roll my eyes at them, because to me, my experience has been as an administrator who is trying to run interference with angry parents, with the teachers, or concerns or whatnot, that sometimes moms have thrown that out there as a justification for poor behavior and treating people badly. And so I just have not really, I don't know, that just hasn't been my term. And I just thought it's just an excuse to act like a fool. Just to put it mildly. And so, I've had Mama Bear Week. That is hilarious too, because since I haven't liked that term, that's the only way I can describe it. It's one thing when you are insulted or when someone disrespects you. Man, it's a whole different thing when it's your kid. And especially when your kid's worked so hard and has had the utmost integrity, has done everything right as far as being respected by his peers, has always been honest about things, had great character, and he's been praised for that. And he was stressed out about this speech, and then to have somebody mock him, it just, bad stuff took over for me too. But I am blown away at our society that we have adults in an audience at something like a graduation. And it's already bad enough to me that they have balloons and they're blocking other people's vision. I don't get that, because I would never bring balloons to a graduation nor have them sold there, because you're blocking other people's sight of maybe their kid. So it's just, I don't understand it. And maybe I'm taking that too far. I know people are going to talk during a graduation speech because they don't have the span of attention to stay on task, but I guess for me personally, if I can't stay on task and pay attention, but at least I'm quiet. I'm not going to take away from people around me. But then the final blow for people to be mocking an 18-year-old that's up there having to give a speech, and the adults don't say, hey kid, that's not appropriate. And they should know it's not appropriate when they're 12. I'm just blown away at our lack of manners in our country, our lack of regard for other people, our lack of kindness, and just I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I do think that maybe people around could maybe police each other a little bit and just say, maybe that's not the kindest thing to say, or could you be quiet? I was kind of listening to this, but again, I don't know what the answer is. Certainly my answer of kicking the back of the chair and telling her to shut up wasn't the right answer, but it just, I just had enough. And sadly, that was my reaction, something for me to work on. Y'all have a happy Memorial Day weekend, and I will post some lives from Spain. Barcelona is up next. See you later. Happy Saturday. Bye.